Hey, what's going on, everybody? Your man, Eric Wilson, Sports Arena, man. As always, I try and bring you those people to tell their stories. And I got a young man who I had the pleasure of meeting at the NABJ dinner in Indianapolis during the NFL Combine. He's actually an NFL agent from Checkmate Sports, Mr. Edward Noah Davis. How are things going on for you up there in the ATL?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. But down here in Atlanta, up here in Atlanta, everything is pretty much shut down the same way. I'm hearing that's going on around the world. We actually have a fine now. It's a curfew that they put in place this week, and they said if you're out past a certain amount of hours, that they can fine you from as low as $500 up to $1,000. So things right now here in Atlanta are getting a little difficult. But
Wow.
we just gotta stay positive, and hopefully this this virus or whatever's going on can work itself out.
Wow. It's like back in the day when your mama used to say, hey, you better be home before the street lights come on.
Right. Most definitely.
So, man, let me ask you, as an NFL agent, how has this process changed for you during these times?
Oh, well, just being an NFL agent in general is it's a very difficult job, and now it's pretty much it's very difficult now. It's like impossible to try to do our job. I'm a smaller agent, so I focus on a lot of guys that they call on the fence guys that had good careers, but for whatever reason, they were under the radar. So we were banking on having a pro day to take them over the hump because they had great college careers. But let's say I had a guy, Christian Angelo from Hampton University. He was a 6'2", 195 corner, and he had a really good breakout season. But a lot of scouts wanted to see what his 40 time was. So a good 40 time for him on his pro day may be just enough to take him over the hump and possibly get drafted. So now instead of having those pro days in our bag, all we have is to go off of film. So it really threw a little, a wrinkle in things. But hopefully the scouts, just go off of film and do what's right.
Yeah, I know. And it's very difficult, I'm sure, not only for you, but for these athletes, because this is prime time for these athletes to be seen, because as the draft comes up and, free agency is going on, this was really their opportunity to not only get in front of the right people, but such as yourself being, the mediator between a potential team and someone who's in Checkmate Sports under you. So I completely understand, man. So let me just ask you this. What is your advice that you would want to share with these athletes?
Moving forward, I feel like, what I would do if I was an athlete, I would actually save some of those refund checks. Save your refund checks. And the reason why I say that is because you want to get to the position where when you done with your playing career, that you can go to the opportunity that best fits you. You don't want it to be based off of money. So let's say, for example, let's say you may not have an agent, and a guy who wants to represent you says he wants to pay for your training, but you may not actually like him as an agent, or he may not really believes in you, but just because he wants to pay for your training, you go and do it. And it's kind of like you're selling out a little bit. So and the thing that players need to realize is you have to pay that money back. So if I was a player, I'm just saying, just starting over again, I would probably, save my money for my refund checks to actually pay for training. And in the same sense, if nobody wants to pay for your training, just make sure you have the money there so that you can have the good training that you need to be able to compete against the guys coming from bigger schools. This is just a difficult times right now.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to give advice for something like this, because this is something that, I've read a million books on the business. I saw Jerry Maguire, I watched Ballers, I saw Entourage, and none of them mentioned anything about a pandemic or a virus. So it's kind of hard to give the advice on this. But I guess I could say just stay flexible, roll with the punches, because it don't always go as planned.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Talking with NFL agent from Checkmate Sports, Edward Noah Davis, and thank you again for having me on. For coming on the show. I appreciate it. So let's talk about something a little more in your wheelhouse, if you will. Give me
Okay.
some athletes that we need to keep our eye on who are not mainstream as of yet.
Okay. One of the guys that I have that is catching a lot of steam as of late is Travis Reed from South Alabama. He's a 6'2", 190 corner from South Alabama. Again, he made all conference this year. He went viral, semi-viral last month, where he jumped 42 inches vertical, and it was all over social media. He actually had a top 30 visit with a certain team. I don't want to put him out there, but
Oh
he had a
no,
top 30
totally
visit.
understand.
Yeah, he had a top 30 visit scheduled before the combine. That was really big for him, for us to for the team to reach out to set that up before the combine even went about. But he tested out at a 4.48, if I'm not mistaken, with 42-inch vertical, 11.7 broad jump at 6'2", 190. So he's very explosive. Also have Christian Angelo, as I mentioned earlier, from Hampton University. He's a transfer from Cincinnati, and he was what, 6'2", 195, and he ran a 4.49. He jumped the 40-inch vertical. He's catching a lot of steam as well, because the league loves those big corners. Also have a offensive lineman. He won offensive lineman of the year in the MEAC. Marcus Pettifor, 6'4". He got up to 300 pounds this year. The good thing about Marcus is he actually won offensive lineman of the year over Alex Taylor, the big 6'9" tackle from South Carolina State that went to the combine. So Marcus is definitely a guy that you need to watch. He got all MEAC 3 times this year. 3 times in his career. And he's just a very explosive and very productive offensive lineman. Very, very agile and athletic. He's 6'4", 300, but he moves like a flex tight end.
Wow.
And I really think that he's going to do a lot of damage on the next level once he gets to a club that's going to, bring him in and develop him. Because, he's ultra talented coming from an HBCU, but just going to that next level and getting in the right program, I think he's just going to go, he's going to be a starter real soon. I have a lot of guys, man. I have Latrell Gibbs. He's a transfer from Appalachian State. Think about Latrell back in, was it 2016, 2017? He led the Sun Belt Conference with 7 interceptions. Unfortunately for him, he had a couple academic problems, so he sat out a couple years. Mm-hmm. But if he would have never sat out, he would definitely been a day 1, day 2 prospect. He had his pro day. One of the only guys that I had that had the pro day. He ran a 4.4 at the pro day. I have Artavius Smith from East Tennessee. Are you familiar with him?
Yeah, actually, when you said that name didn't ring a bell. It was a name that, in just looking at that undiscovered, that untapped talent, his name, when you said it, automatically clicked with me. But go ahead.
Yeah, Artavius Smith is an animal.
Yeah.
And I really think that not having a pro day really hurt him, because this guy was on the verge of, cracking a 4.3, 4.4. That's what he was testing at. And with his film, if you go back and watch it, he has his instincts is out of this world. He reminds me a lot, and I know I don't like to compare athletes, but it's real. He plays a lot like the Honey Badger.
Okay.
Back when he was at LSU, where it's like he's always there, but it was amazing. The guy had 88 tackles this year, 5 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles. He was an All-American. He's a tear. He's great on special teams as well. So I think hopefully he either gets drafted or he gets a camp invite. But whatever happens, I already know that he's going to make the roster. He has a great attitude, very humble, and when he gets on the field, Artavius just makes plays, and that's the thing about him. He just makes plays no matter what position he's at. I think he's probably going to be a free safety, a strong safety on the next level, some type of safety. But
right.
He covers the field. He's unreal. And the last couple of guys I have is Chris Page, very under the radar from Catawba University, but the guy, he's one of those small school kids that 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 needed a good pro day. But I think when he gets into camp, he's going to do enough to open some eyes. He's a 5'11", 190 corner, and out of Atlanta, Georgia. And also I have Daniel Reed Bennett from Elon. He's a free safety, big free safety, 6'1", 195. Flew under the radar a little bit because of Greg Liggs, the cornerback from Elon. Took a lot of the spotlight this year. He had a good year as well. But Daniel, I mean, he's no slouch. We'll see, what happens with the draft. A lot of my guys are the smaller school guys, so them not having a pro day, it really, I'm not going to say it hurt them, but we're not sure how it's going to affect them. But like I told my guys, when the opportunity presents itself, we're just going to have to make the most of it.
Oh yes, when your number is called, definitely be ready, man. Listen, I'm excited for that. Even that small group that you gave me, just talking about here on the show on the Sports Arena today, man. I'd love to have some of those guys on just to talk about their story and just explain, why they are that next level talent that these NFL scouts and GMs should be looking for. So let's definitely stay connected, man. And I'd love to have you back on at any time.
Oh, most definitely, yeah. They're definitely they're available. So just let me know when you want to do that, and we will set it up as soon as possible. Because the thing is, right now, since we don't have the pro days, any type of good publicity and just to put the spotlight on them, we're all for that. And
Awesome.
Again, Eric, it was a pleasure to meet you at the dinner, and I appreciate you having me on and just taking time to talk to me and give me a chance to put the spotlight on my guys. So again, I appreciate that and everything you do.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Listen, everybody, this is a great man, NFL agent, Mr. Edward Noah Davis of Checkmate Sports. I'll be talking to him and his crew probably here in the near future. Again, Mr. Davis, thank you for coming on. I'm definitely going to reach out to you as soon as this is over. We're going to connect and make some stuff happen.
All right. I appreciate it, Eric. You take care.
All right. Your man, Eric Wilson, Sports Arena, Fox Sports Radio, 1070 The Zone. I'll talk to you guys in a minute.